I'll just start with a bit of a tongue twister. I think I did this last time actually, but it's a good one to articulate. It's called Pub. Paralytic plasterers pointlessly pore over pint-sized politics. Two pocket-sized pink ladies, lycra-clad lovelies, longing for love from all the loose-tongued, tightly-toned torsos of labouring lads. Same again, darling, he satirically and scathingly separates sarcasm from sincerity, searching his pocket-sized pockets for pounds and pence to purchase time and titillating talks on tepid topics to tease the taste buds of this a tantalising temptress. She stares slyly at the salty snacks beside the cider shelf, and no surprise, the sour scratchings are snatched and scoffed between sits and salted lips. Savoury sex for unsavoury sex. Hours on, hopes of heading home to his or hers are halted, hurling her 6 sachets of sour scratchings and 7 ciders southwards, splashing several strangers as she slips sideways on her pelted puddle of puke. Paul participates in a quick queasy quagmire of desire driven by dread, despair and desperate drunken debauchery. Devoid of decorum, he drops Deb, denying Deb's descent, as he drops dead, metaphorically, from the scene. Do a bit of serious stuff for a change. I was thinking the other day just how sad it is nowadays that we never get lost. We've got apps on our phone like Google Maps, we've got sat-nav, and that joy of just something happening by chance or bumping into someone that you haven't seen for ages just doesn't happen as much. And I thought I'd write a poem about that, but just to complicate things, which is what I like to do, I'm going to mix it up with the fact that also something that I always used to like doing is getting lost in libraries and sort of searching out books, perhaps out my comfort zone, so that I could find out something different. And the sad loss that some libraries are closing these days because of cuts, but not only that, but also because of kind of people having e-books now. They're less interested in reading on paper. And, that's causing a lot of individualisation, and libraries are closing because of that as well. So I wrote a poem about that. Actually, I've written 2. It's called All Is Not Lost. The declaration startled me like the crash of bins once metal, a bungling burglar inept. We don't need libraries anymore, the e-book. Its bright kindled glare stamps on the dusky, dust-ridden paper tome. Louder, brassier, more alluring, seducing the onlooker with its endless features and empty promise. Promises to give more, yet remain discreet. Options without commitment. More entertainment. The glassy-eyed, dull-eared Ludulite packs more into its limitless pages, scented in an unfamiliar way, an electrochemical cheap irritation of the real thing. No need to get lost in a library, letting eyes take gentle steps with a finger deliciously tracing over the spines of countless books on oak shelves, the hard uprights, the quickie paperback, the glossy, vibrant magazine, the thought of others having thumbed and absorbed its pages in their own way, judging the book by its cover, now obsolete, abhorrent even. Lost journeys for the soul mapped out in the temporary world of ether and ethereal, a press the button sat-nav rocketing you to an electric moon, a virtual and disappointing reality. Still on the theme of loss and libraries, I thought I'd do one in my alliteration style, which is something I quite like to do. So, obviously with the letter L, called Lost in Library. Can't quite read it from here, sorry. Love's laboured lost as literary leanings once lent by labouring librarians, longing to let loose lexicons and letters of love and imagined lies, lines of linen-lined literature, lost on a lonely Elysian lawn. Imaginary layers, a lowly levelling of inhumanity. Loss lamented, litmus losing to the limp liability of an illusory, electronic, lived-out lie. One more. I think I may have done this one before. It's called Arthur. It's actually about an elephant. I met this man the other day, 10 foot tall, with a nose long and grey. He was wearing a suit and a pair of brown boots, reading the paper, playing the flute. His ears were enormous, as big as 2 plates, and his hands weren't much smaller, a weird family trait. I asked him his name. He said, Arthur, of course. His voice sounded deep and somewhat hoarse. About a week later, I saw him again, holding a paper and holding a pen. He'd completed the crossword and was proud it was done. He used to need the help of his mum. More casually dressed, hoodie and trainers, his jeans specially made by the local tailors. He told me he left his job at the circus. He hated it there as one of the workers. The pay was terrible. Conditions were poor. The meals were tiny, but he daren't ask for more. His skin was ashen with lots of creases and his fingernails the size of 50p pieces. I say fingernails, he had only 3. 4 legs, large as tree trunks, I think you'll agree. Whilst known as Heffalump, he'd worked in a zoo. I think he's an elephant. What about you? Thank you.